you one thing, if a little green man pops out of me, I'm shooting first and asking questions later.
You are on the verge of destroying the entire universe.
Welcome to the Strange Podcast with Sam and Logan.
If you enjoy the show, please go to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you're listening, and please give us a good rating. If you want to share a story or have ideas for a future episode, you're welcome to visit us at www.thestrangepodcast.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Welcome to The Strange Podcast. This is episode 50, and I'm Logan Marks.
And I'm Sam Baxter. Today's October 4th, 2018.
Oh, 50 episodes.
50 episodes. Congratulations, man.
Yeah,
It's good work. It's hard work, but good work, huh?
yeah, we're almost close to retirement.
Yeah. All that money we're making? Fuck. Somebody please give us some money so we can retire. Somebody. so we can stop boring you with these fucking stories. Somebody pay us to stop, all right?
Pay us to
That's all we ask.
We're going to do a GoFundMe to stop
I know,
us from
GoFundMe to
podcasting.
I know, get the Strange Podcast to go off the air. I wonder how that would do, man. You know, it'd be funny if we got like fucking over $1 million.
Please stop
That'd
talking.
be better.
Just shut your
Please
mouths.
Stop this fucking stupid show. You know, you guys are fucking horrible. Just stop. Here's all this cash. Here's a fucking boatload of money. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, that'd be awesome, huh?
Oh,
I take
man.
it. All right. Finally, my mouth did some good for me.
Did you do anything exciting this week?
I'm planning on seeing the Predators this weekend.
Oh, are you? But
Yeah, I'm finally
Oh, man, I don't
gonna
know.
go see the Predator.
You're slacking. I saw it
I know.
on...
You saw it?
Yeah, I saw it on Friday. It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Was it good?
I liked it. It wasn't like great, but you know, it was
I want to go in fresh.
it was just a good action movie with good comedy,
Alright.
and
Good.
you know,
And
I didn't
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I didn't have high expectations from it, so
Good.
I think that's why I just thought it was pretty good. It was entertaining.
Good. I like to hear that. I mean, you know, I'm not going to that movie for Oscar or any type of nominations like that. So all these assholes were acting like, oh, this isn't fucking top tier. This is only fucking 70% Rotten Tomatoes. Kiss my ass. I don't give a fuck. This movie should be good. Like I said, the other ones were good. I'm down with this one.
Well, I was wanting to go see Venom too, but I don't know. It's getting really bad ratings.
Venomous?
Yeah, it's like someone was saying that it was like at 17% or something like that. Or even,
Just go see it. If you want to see it, go see it. You might
if
like
it's really,
it.
I'm not gonna waste like $9 on a movie that's gonna be shitty.
But what if you like it? What if it's fantastic to you and everyone else can kiss your ass?
Well, then I'll go watch it on when it becomes on DVD. Then I don't have to pay. I can pay $1.
I don't know, but I mean, do you think it looks good in the commercials?
I don't. It looked alright, but you know, a lot of times they put all the good. They put all the good shit in the trailers.
In the commercial, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's up to you. I'm, you know me. I'm one of those people that I don't. Everyone else might hate it, and I might like it. There's a chance I'll like it, so I usually go and see it. If it's something I want to see, you know, I won't care. I've watched movies where people just bashed it before, and I liked it. So I'm not a big fan of Venom, so I wasn't really planning on seeing it. But yeah, I haven't really. I kind of heard a little bit about it getting trashed, like it wasn't doing too good.
Mm.
But I didn't read why, because like I said, I'm not really interested in Venom that much. But do you know anyone who's seen it?
No.
Has your coworker who's been trying to get you to watch Predator every 5 minutes went and seen it?
No,
I'm sure he would have told you.
Yeah, I was telling him we should go, and then I saw like if it's like really bad ratings, I just won't go.
You know what?
I'd rather just wait or.
No. You should tell him to go, but you should tell him to pay for you. and then whatever he says about it, you'll relay it on your show. Just tell him you're gonna do that, and then you get a free movie. And then you just say, "Hey, my buddy didn't like it." That's it.
That's true. No, I might go see because they're playing it at the Heritage
at the cheap theater.
The cheap theaters.
Yeah,
They're trying to get more newer updated movies. They're playing it this weekend, so
smart.
I might go watch it there since it's not as expensive.
Yeah, is it? It's $9 there too.
It's like it's if you go. It depends on what day you go. Sometimes they'll have it like at 8.
The Thursday, do they still have those Thursday bargain
they
nights?
still do the cheap Thursdays, and but then like the food's really cheap. That's why I like going there.
That's enticing.
Yeah, because like you can get like if a big thing of popcorn for like $3.
Shit.
You know, instead of like the
I wouldn't-
like $10 for like a small popcorn.
That sounds astronomically great. Man, where I live right here in the big city, geez, man, you get a pop and a popcorn, you're out like $22.
You just have to take a loan out.
Yeah, it's and then they're like, and you know, they give you a big bucket of pop. I mean, this is like fuck. It's like those buckets you get like fertilizer. Remember how we'd have those big old buckets and we'd carry things to work out in the farm, and they were like super huge. They're like buckets of pop like that, and popcorn are just as big. And they're like, yeah, but you get free refills. Who the fuck's gonna eat all this? I'm not eating all this shit. I mean, this is diabetes in this damn cup, and then this popcorn. It's like fucking 400 like kernels, 4,000 I should say, and it's like I'm not eating this shit. They try and tell you that, like, yeah, remember like in Homer, sir, just relax. We'll be glad to give you a
garbage bag full of
popcorn. Down. I'm not fucking eating this. It's just too much. Damn it. Why don't you ever give me that offer with lobster, you know, or something?
Lobster.
Jeez, man, it's like I'm not drinking like more than one of these buckets of pop, and I'm not drinking one of these big ass barrels of popcorn. And I'm not. Yeah, the prices are a lot. So $3 for popcorn, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, it's pretty decent theater, and I might watch it there this weekend if I don't know.
Yeah, if it was cheap theater, I would do that too.
Yeah.
I mean, we have one cheap theater. When it comes to that, which will be depending on how good it does in regular theaters, I might go check it out there, because it'll be like $6 at the other one.
Yeah, so which isn't too bad. Like I could see doing that.
Yeah, $6 is okay.
Because it's like,
especially if it sucks.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see.
So, have you did anything else been cool going on around the house?
Man, I had a weird shit happen to me the other day. Like,
was it that same guy that had you drive him to the other town?
No,
that happened a few months ago.
This was different.
Remember that guy that just showed up?
Yeah,
and
that
his
showed up.
wife was
This
stealing
kind of shit
purses?
happens. This kind of shit happens in my house all the time. So
Damn
this
it,
was
man,
like,
where the hell are you living?
it was like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. When I first moved into the house, I was going in. I was outside my yard. It was late at night, and we had just moved some stuff in.
Okay.
And this guy, he's on the road on the other side of the fence, and he's like, "Hey," and I was like, I didn't know who he was talking to. Him. He's like, "Hey, did you call me? Did you call me?" And I was like, "I don't know what the fuck you are. Why would I call you?" He's like,
Yeah.
Somebody from this house called me. And I was like, "How can anybody call you from this house? You fucking liar!"
Yeah, I know.
And he's like, and like he comes in, he starts coming in like closer. I'm like, "You need to stop where you're going. You know, like you need to stop getting closer to me." And then he starts walking into my yard, and I could tell like
God.
he's pretty drunk.
Okay.
And I've seen this guy before because when I used to work at the library in the area, like he would come in every once in a while. And
So you'd seen him, you knew who he was.
yeah, he was just a town drunk kind of thing.
Gotcha.
And so like he comes closer and he's like, "I got something for you," and I was like, "Oh fuck."
Shit.
And he starts like reaching behind his back, like he's grabbing like almost like a gun, kind of behind his back.
Oh damn.
I'm like, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna die right now. This guy's gonna kill me."
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he pulled out his hand and he had it like closed, so there's nothing in it. I was like, I was just like thankful it wasn't a fucking gun.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
And he's like, I got this. This is for you. And I was like, I don't want whatever you have. I don't want it. All right, just get the fuck off my property, or I'm gonna call the cops. And
Yeah.
he starts getting closer. I was like, you need to stop where you are right now and get the fuck
Yeah.
off my property. And he starts smiling. He's all, like he thinks he's all cute, and he's all walking around my yard and stuff. I'm like, you need to get off. I'm gonna go call the cops. So he decides to take off. He goes, and this was like a year and a half ago, probably when we first moved in.
Jeez.
And then so I hadn't seen him for a while. And then the last week it was on Monday. Outside I'm putting windows up because I put new windows in the house. And he comes and I see somebody on my corner of my eye like walking into my yard.
Oh.
And
God.
it's that same guy, and I'm like, oh fuck. And he does the same thing. He's like, hey, did you call me? Did anybody call me from
Shit.
this house? I was like, no, nobody fucking called you. And he's like, but he was sober this time. Like,
Oh, he was?
Yeah, he looked sober. And he was getting ready to get drunk because he had like 2 bags with 40s in them. And he was just holding
Bags with
them. Yeah.
40s?
And I was like, and he was all like, dude, somebody called me from this house. And I was like,
How the fuck did they call you?
yeah, I was like, no one's gonna fucking call you from this. I don't know who the fuck you are. Even if I did know you, I wouldn't call you. And he's all like, I got something for you. And he's like, oh, it's like,
Again?
yeah. And I was like, So I'm thinking like he's trying to be cute about, like thinks it's funny, right? So he gives it his pocket, and he pulls out this wad of cash, and I'm like, he's like, here's just for you, and I was like, yeah, it had like $5 bills, like a $5 bill, wadded up, And I was like, and I looked at it, I was like, look, I don't want your money. I just get the fuck off my property. And it's like, oh, this is for you. I got this. This is for you. I got this for you. And I was like, well, let me tell you what, I got something for you. And so like ever since that day that he came, that like 2 years ago, when I'm working outside my house, I carry a gun with me.
Oh, nice. So, man, what do you live in a war zone? Like, what the fuck? What the hell?
Just fucking people.
I know.
You can't trust them.
Yeah, sure.
And so like I have a gun on me, and so like I lifted up my shirt and I showed him my gun. I was like, I got something for you, and he looks at the gun. He's like, oh no, sorry. He's like, oh, I'll leave. Yeah.
My brother.
And he started picking up his stuff, and his 40s, and he took off. And I was like, you have a nice day, sir. And he's like, oh, see you later. And he's left.
You should have been like, leave the fucking bags.
I know. Leave your 40s.
Leave
right
that
there.
Shit. That belongs to me now. You. That is a gift from you, asshole.
Wasting my time.
Yep, you leave all the 40s here.
Did you call me?
Yeah, no. You should find out where he lives and just keep going to his house. Hey,
I know I should.
Yeah, just fucking keep flashing your gun.
If I see him on the street, I'm gonna follow him around and see where he lives. Just go to his house and fucking hassle him.
Man, I remember. That's funny because when you just said that, follow him. I remember one time, like a long time ago, when I was in college. I remember a friend of mine and I. There used to be this guy. This guy looked really weird, man. He looked like, we used to call him the robot. Because this guy was like, he would kind of be walking around. He was like he was tall, he was like probably like 6'6", 6'7". So he was taller than everyone else. Mm-hmm. And he looked like just a generic looking, like he was put together. Like he was like whoever put him together was from NASA, and he was just so boring looking. And he just like wore glasses, and his hair was always just combed the same way, just to the side. And we used to just call him the robot, and we'd always see him like talking to himself, like in the crowd. Everyone would just be around, and everyone would just be, walking to and from class, and he just there with his back. Always had one hand on his backpack over his shoulder, and just he'd just be talking. We're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, who's he talking to? Uh-huh. So we just started calling him the robot, and we're like, fuck this guy. We got to find out where he lives. Like, where does he come from? So one day we found him. He drove like a 62 like Pontiac big ass boat. Like this was a big ass car.
Yeah.
Like, this motherfucker, like we got him. Like, this car is huge, and we're not gonna, let's follow him. Let's see where he lives, And we weren't gonna do anything to him. We just want to know. Like, we were just so curious because this guy seemed so weird, and we were following him, and we were like laughing at him, like, man, this guy's just nuts and shit. And all of a sudden, he just disappeared. Like, he just turned down one road. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not saying it was anything weird or odd. I'm just saying that somehow the robot defeated us. Like, the weird robot, he got away from us, and we were like, what the fuck just happened? We were just behind him. Somehow he turned down the road, we turned, and he was gone. Huh. And we never, to this day, we still talk about it. I'm still friends with him, and we still talk about the robot, like, and we never saw him in school.
You never saw him after all that?
No, he had been there for like the whole quarter, for like, 3 months. We'd probably seen him for like 6 months, actually, for through the school year. Uh-huh. And after that day, we didn't see him again.
Never saw him again?
No.
Oh, that's really creepy.
Yeah, it's like he knew we were on to him.
He's all seeing you guys. They're like, hello, fellow humans. How are you today? I know. Trying to act all human.
I know. Do you like stuff?
Do you enjoy ingesting
I know, these fluids? These nutrients? Yeah, it's just so weird, man. We just don't know whatever happened to him. And even to this day, like I said, we're like, how did that fucker get away from us? He was like, even when he walked, he was really slow. Even when he drove his car, he was like slow. And we were just laughing the whole time, and he just somehow got away.
Damn.
and we laugh about it, like, how the hell did the tortoise get away from us? Like,
especially when he had a big old fucking Pontiac.
Yeah, exactly, man. It was a big ass boat, man. It was like a ship. It was like, it was weird. It was just. And to this day, like how you said, you're going to follow him. I bet you won't be able to find this guy. this guy, I bet you anything. You're going to be like, in a year, you're going to be like, man, I don't know where he's at.
He's
like,
all ducking in garbage cans and stuff. And
the thing is, he's not even ducking. It's just like, you just kind of lose him. That's the weird thing is like, like he wasn't really trying to get away, but he did. And you just somehow, like the tortoise and the hare, you know, the tortoise was just chilling or just going, and the hare was just like, I'm just going to chill. And then next thing you knew, he lost. And that's how it was. He just disappeared. And I feel like you won't find this guy. I mean, it's been a year, right?
Yeah, I think he was probably in jail. Because I
No.
remember when he came in earlier when he came to the library, like he had this hot, I don't know if it was his girlfriend or his sister, but they would come in together. And
really?
They would, yeah, and she was like super hot, and he would.
Shit! It might be worth finding him.
But yeah, and he would always like
take her off his hands.
She'd always say like he'd be gone for a while, and then like he'd come back, and they always say that he was in jail, like he'd be in and out. He was like a drug dealer or something.
Oh shit! Damn, that's just his side piece, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
Damn, she's super hot, man. Like I said, you might need to find where they live. Just show up when you know he's in jail. Hey, did somebody call me?
Somebody call me? Is
Yeah,
it your sister?
Yeah. Do you need me, miss? I'm here for you.
Maybe
Whatever
help.
you need,
Maybe
man.
help.
Yeah, you know anything about books? I can tell you about the libraries. I'm here for you, for your well-being, man.
All right, we should probably get into the strange news.
Yeah, we probably should.
All right, we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we'll get into some strange news.
It's time for strange news.
All right, and we're back. So it goes for some strange news. So I got this first one here. This is as I've told you before, this would probably hurt Sal Lundy's feelings, as he's listening to this as he's delivering mail. But I got this story here where a New Jersey postal worker quits and he just fucking leaves all the mail on the side of the road.
Oh damn!
Tens, thousands of envelopes on the side of the road. Just fucking left them. Like, I'm out of here. Just
Isn't that like a federal offense? Like you just get rid of because it's like government.
Is it government property? Well, jeez, I don't know. It doesn't say he was arrested.
Well, he probably,
It just said
pretty sure
this
he got
guy in
fired.
New Jersey. Yeah, I mean, he quit. You're not firing me. I quit.
Yeah, he quit. It's like I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm out.
yeah. Fuck you guys. I'll take it. He's like, yeah, I'll take as many. Yeah, I'll help everyone else. And he took all these extra loads, and he's like, fuck you. I'm out. But yeah, he just left them on the side of the road. It says, according to the special agent Scott Balfour with the U.S. Postal Service Inspector General, she said the mail was out for delivery from Roxborough Station Post Office in Philly, but the postal worker responsible for the mail had resigned on September 8th. So he just left it, man. He just left all this mail on the side of the road. Again, I don't know if that's against the law. I mean, I guess if he quits, it's no longer in his property. It's not his duty anymore, right?
I guess, but I mean, he did leave all his shit on the side of the road. You know, like
I get that. But I mean, I think what if he was putting it in his apartment and just storing it there? That would be stealing. So he's not stealing any of this. I don't know.
oh, yeah, that's kind of weird. Because like you know, a lot of places like you open up other people's mail.
Yeah.
And stuff. I think that's a federal offense. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Well,
I think
if you open other people's mail, it is a federal offense. But I mean, if nobody's opened this, right? If it's just there.
I guess yeah. Who knows?
I don't know. I guess you know what? I'd rather this guy do this and go postal, right?
Better than him shoot up the place.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you don't hear about the post office.
Going crazy.
Yeah, remember it used to be like a big thing. Like that used to happen all the time.
Yeah, the mail doesn't stop.
Yeah, and then like it just kind of stopped, and then like the school shootings. All of a sudden, it was like school shootings.
Jeez, dang, got to replace one for another, huh?
I know, but I wonder why just people stopped doing it.
You know, maybe the post office, they took measures to make sure people were getting enough breaks, or they were getting enough, you know.
Not as stressful as it.
Yeah, I'm assuming so. I mean, if it stopped or if it ceased, I'm sure they really put in some measures to make sure people were okay. You know, maybe if you need help, you know, people will assist you. You know, because talking to Sal Lundy, he says that he's had to assist other people on their routes. So I don't know how it was before. Maybe like people were like, here's all your work. Make sure it gets done. If it's not done, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they probably like, fuck, this is too much. So I don't know. It seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, I wouldn't want.
Like you said, you want to be a postman, huh?
I don't know. It might be all right. I've never. It seems like the postmen that when they come by, they seem like they're not upset about their work.
Yeah, I know.
You get to walk around a lot, and I think it'd be kind of stressful, make sure I had to get all that stuff out and
Yeah, I know, huh?
chase my dogs and.
Sure. Yeah, that's that. I think that would be stressful too. I don't know. I mean, but again, some people might find it. Find tranquility in it. Getting exercise outside. You could be like somebody like me who's fucking sitting at a desk all day.
Yeah, I couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's getting tougher and tougher. I tell you what. Sometimes manual labor doesn't sound so bad like we used to do.
Mm.
Well, that's all I got on that one. What do you got?
So I got a story about a Pennsylvania man was accused of funneling nearly $400,000 in customer payments into his personal bank account. And the investigator said
$400,000. He didn't make another bank account like in Switzerland and put it there.
No, he put it in his own personal one. So 29-year-old
gosh.
James R. Perry Jr. from Pennsylvania was arrested on theft and other charges. Perry was a director of credit and collections, billing and settlements with R&R Express Trucking Company, where he allegedly funneled money to himself dating back from April 2015 to the tune of almost $400,000. So he'd been doing it for a couple years. So
jeez.
So basically, customers would send their credit card payments to R&R, and Perry would then use a computer program to process the payments and redirect them to his own personal checking account. So years later, the company, finally discovered the scheme, prompting a police investigation. So so they were trying to get their money back from him, but the thing is...
So wait. I want to ask, was he using this money like for helping his family member or somebody like with ailments or something?
No, something more important, something more...
built in a house, some land?
No, something more important than that. He spent it on strippers and hockey tickets and a bunch of adult entertainment.
Oh, shit. He spent $400K on pussy is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
Money well spent.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's an investment, huh?
Yeah.
$400K on hockey tickets and women?
Dude, yeah. So I remember...
All right.
I remember one time when I worked at this advertising agency, this woman, she was like our HR department had like a daughter, and she was working there, and she ended up investing like $50,000 from the company.
$50,000?
Yeah, and they
did she spend it on pussy too?
No, no, but she you know what she spent it on?
What?
Like furniture and stuff, and like a bunch of things for her house. But instead of buying it, she rented it.
Rented it?
Yeah, like those rent-to-own places.
What kind of shit is that?
Yeah, so that's where she bought everything from.
The fuck? Rented? Fucking rented furniture?
Yeah, so basically they couldn't get any of the money back because like all the stuff was, like if you stop paying on it, they take it away.
Gotcha. And it doesn't belong to her.
So she was basically making payments on it instead of just like buying things.
So what happened to her? Did she get busted?
Well, she was like, since it was like, oh, it's rich people on rich people crime, so they don't really do anything to them. They just like had her parents pay back the money.
Oh,
and,
well, I guess the money was paid back.
Yeah, and she didn't really have to do any time.
Gotcha. So they probably kept the cops out of it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they got their money back, but jeez. I mean, she should have been smart and spent it on pussy and hockey tickets. Like Junior, you were just talking about. That guy is a smart guy.
Yeah, he knows how to invest money.
Yeah, he knows how to steal it and how to fucking spend it. I'll tell you that, man. So I got this another thing with the post office. A book order takes over 20 years to be delivered.
20 years?
Yes, a Florida woman who ordered a set of Dr. Seuss books for her granddaughter said the package finally arrived 20 years later.
That wouldn't have happened on Sell Undies watch.
Yeah.
Say that right now.
Sell Andy was delivered, yeah. Sell Andy would have had that out in fucking 2 days. So Vera Walker of Orlando said her granddaughter was only 4 years old when she ordered the set of books in 1998. She was an adult with a 5-year-old son, and by the time the package arrived at her home. So the post office explained to Walker that the box had been found stuck inside an old mailbox. I don't know. Luckily enough, Vera Walker was able to give the books to her great grandson. So now he's enjoying them. So it's a happy ending.
Oh.
Yeah. 20 years later.
Like, this is fine. Like, they scraped it off the bottom of it.
Yeah, I know. It's
box.
like Christmas. Remember Christmas Vacation? He was all like Xmas from like 20 years before. Remember he's finding those old gifts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was all hiding from the kids and stuff.
He would hide from his family. He was finding shit from he had hidden up there that he had forgotten.
That's where these are.
Yeah. Dang, 20 years later. They're probably mint, too. That's what's even better.
I wonder if they'd be worth something after all that time.
I don't know.
Probably not, because they crank out a bunch of those books.
I was going to say, are books like that even worth anything after?
No, not really. Not unless
Yeah, I
it's
don't
like
think
be
so.
signed by somebody or...
Sure. Or it would have to be like some type of rare book. Yeah, like you said, there's so many of them that it doesn't even matter.
So when you've had a wedding, did you have alcohol at your wedding? Did you have like an open bar or have people drinking?
If I was married, I would have strippers at my wedding. And I would have tons of pussy there. Why, what happened on this story?
So Brian and Jennifer Butler were having themselves a wedding. And
Right.
remember,
Congratulations.
so they had the wedding. They had the cake and the first dance. But while all that was happening, their maid of honor, Amanda Willis, started drinking. She drank so much she became intoxicated, and she started asking people for their keys. So
Keys?
yeah,
Was she valet?
huh?
What was she, valet?
No, I guess she wanted somebody's keys. So she ended up
Okay.
She ended up with the best, going to the best man, and she grabbed the keys out of his pocket, and then took off to the parking lot, and jumped into his car. So when they were out there, they were trying to get her to stop driving. So Willis then ended up backing up and almost hit the best man.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so which was the groom's brother.
Okay.
And he tried to grab the car, and she ended up like taking off a little bit and dragging him, dragging the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And he apparently was able to get into the vehicle and pull her out of the car, and hit the emergency brake, got her out, and wrestled her out of the car, and they finally got her back inside. While she was in there, she said that she grabbed a big bottle of Captain Morgan and guzzled that down after that, and then she ended up she started getting at me more aggressive and more violent, where she came and she punched the best man in the side of the face.
Fucking bitch. God.
So she pretty much like made this wedding pretty much horrible for the best man, and so now she faces charges for a battery, grand theft, and of a motor vehicle, and a violation of probation. So
Oh, she was on probation?
yeah, so Willis
So this bitch has a problem.
Yeah. So she was supposed to be the bride's best friend. So the bride said that they're no longer friends after this.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I can't imagine why. I thought you were gonna say something like she ended up like they went out there and she fucked him or something. You know?
Oh,
That's what I thought you were gonna say. I was like,
well,
all right.
that would have probably been a lot better than that.
Yeah, I
I
know.
was getting run over and punched in the face.
I know. Fuck. So I got speaking of Rex, so these thieves in Colorado Springs, in Colorado and Washington were like the first states that had marijuana dispensaries, be legal.
Mm.
So these thieves crashed a stolen minivan to Colorado Springs pot dispensary, but only get oregano for their trouble. So these fucking guys, they allegedly, these burglars crashed a minivan to the front entrance of the Native Roots marijuana dispensary, stole containers from inside the store, and crashed into an oncoming police vehicle during their escape early Wednesday morning.
Oh, I like how they crashed into the police cars.
Yeah, that was just fucking topped it off, right? but for all the trouble, the thieves didn't get enough marijuana for a single joint. In fact, they didn't get a single leaf. All they got, because it was all locked up, all the weed was locked up, right? They're not going to have it out, open.
So do they have like this decoy oregano bags everywhere?
I don't know. The boxes they took were filled with T-shirts and oregano. That's what all the shirts you could want. Yeah, man, that's all they got with T-shirts and oregano. They didn't get any weed. They didn't get fucking nothing.
That's so weird. Just having oregano, like
I don't know. I don't know enough about that to
it was like a display
know if that's
thing
common
where
in there.
they put it
Yeah,
out there like just to show.
maybe.
the
Yeah,
out,
maybe. But that's all they got. Boxes filled with T-shirts and oregano. So, and they crash into a police car. So
that's what's funny is that usually happens a lot more than the more stories I read of these, they always like crash into the cop cars. You ever notice that?
Yeah, we'll put him out of commission. We'll get away from him. My Ford Escort will take out the fucking cop car.
I got a story here where basically there was a delivery man driving a delivery van, and he accidentally hit a parked car in Manhattan. So after the delivery man hit the parked car, a man approached him and insisted that the delivery man pay them $1,000 to make the problem go away.
All right.
So we'll get the insurance involved and all this stuff. So the delivery guy, he called his boss and he told him what happened, and the boss was like, "No, you need to get insurance information. We need to do this legit." So then one of the guys that was offering to make the problem go away, Rondell Haley, 33, and he had an accomplice with him identified as Francisco Jimenez, 24. They pull a gun out on the delivery man and basically told the boss over the phone, it's like, you got to pay us money or, you're never going to see your delivery guy again or your van. So they told the boss, they made arrangement and told the boss, to meet him up to bring the ransom money to this local bank, and they would make the exchange. So the boss was smart enough. He just called the police. So the police said that Haley and Jimenez drove from Brooklyn to Manhattan with the kidnapped delivery driver in a BMW in hopes to collect the $700 that they were, which isn't very much. So if you're gonna do that,
$700. That's it.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, you think you would do a little bit more money.
For some thousands, yeah, $700. Fuck.
So,
Okay.
But what the guys didn't know was that he had called the cops, right? So the cops show up, and the kidnappers, they brought the delivery man to the bank, and the police showed up, and so one of the guys fled on the BMW. So he takes off, right? The cops go after him, and he ends up crashing in a nearby building. And he tried.
Well, at least he didn't hit the cop car, right?
He didn't hit the cop car this time, but he crashed into a nearby building. And he tried to escape. He ran up the fire escape, and they caught him on the fire escape. Authorities charged him with kidnapping, criminal possession, and controlled substances. And his friend, his accomplice, he got the same charges pretty much. And it was a happy ending. He got back.
Good work,
the delivery
boys.
driver made it back home.
Good fucking work.
And didn't have to pay the $700.
I was gonna say, damn. All right, well, we should probably get into our stories, huh?
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into the main topic, which is people that were buried alive. So we'll see you guys in a little bit.
I don't know if you remember the movie. Do you remember The Serpent and the Rainbow?
No, I never saw that one.
So before he was president, Thomas J. Whitmore on Independence Day. Remember the president? Bill Pullman was in this movie in the 80s called The Serpent and the Rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
So he was basically like an anthropologist that was like sent to Haiti because he had heard rumors about like some black magic and people being turned into zombies and stuff.
Oh, you know what? I do remember it now that you mention it.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It's
like
an older movie, but it was
older
pretty
movie,
good. Yeah, but it was pretty creepy, and so things like that aren't that far fetched. What I've learned. So like like the voodoo, some of the voodoo I guess in Haiti, they really delve into this type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like one of the stories that like that's been people have probably seen is about this guy. His name was Clavius Narcisse, and he was supposed to be supposedly like a true real Haitian zombie. So I guess what the voodoo priests, or they're known as like bokors, do, they use a powder that's called like coupe de poudre. I don't know French, so pardon my bad pronunciations, but it's made from ingredients that includes like a species of a pufferfish, a marine toad, a hyla tree frog, and human remains. Mm-hmm. So the pufferfish is the main ingredient that makes deadly neurotoxin called tetrodotoxin.
Okay.
So the toxin creates a paralysis and death. So it makes the people are conscious right until the moment of death, but they seem dead, and people like doctors when they check them out, they appear dead. But people who poison them with this can come and get them like within a day, and they can pull them out of the grave and make them basically their slave. And so that's what basically I guess happened to this guy, this Clairvius Narcisse. So I guess like in 1980, his sister, she was in the market there in Haiti, and some man came up to her claiming to be her brother Clairvius. And so she was like, nah, you can't be, because Clairvius died, 18 years ago, 1962. But he's like, no, it's me, Clairvius. And he told her, he went on to tell her that he was resurrected by a witch doctor, and he had been enslaved on a sugar plantation for the last 18 years.
Oh wow. Yeah,
so that's what they also say they do is the witch doctors will do that to make you their slaves. So in 1962, he had checked into the Albert Schweitzer Hospital in Haiti, in Desjardins, Haiti, complaining of body aches and a fever. So I guess his condition got worse, and in a few days he was just declared dead by the doctors. So the sister says she remembers the whole thing. She remember and he was telling her, he remembers being declared dead. He remembers the doctors pulling a sheet over his face. The problem was that he was paralyzed, so he couldn't do anything. He was just laying there, just watching all this unravel in front of him.
Oh, that would suck.
He was awake when he was nailed into the coffin and buried, and he was able to, and for her to verify that he was really her brother, he answered questions that only that she would know, and so she took him to the family, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, it is him," and he said the reason he was gone for so long was due to a 2-year enslavement as a zombie by the Bokor, the witch doctor. But after the Bokor died, he remained in hiding as he believed his brother had sold him to the Bokor over a land dispute. So it wasn't until his brother died in 1980 that he decided to return. So he was freaked out, man. He was scared that he was scared of his brother. His brother had basically sold him off for land. So I was like, man, that's, I remember hearing about that. And then that movie was, pretty fucking scary, I thought, especially when I saw it back when I was a kid. And I was like, man, this is some crazy shit. But there's also been like other stories where people have also been buried alive. Not with the voodoo type ritual background, but just from other ailments or things. And that's what I was going to talk about. So this is about the woman Octavia Smith Hatcher. So, like, in the late 1800s, in Pikeville, Kentucky, there was, like, some unknown disease that was going around the town. And her infant son had died in January 1891, and she was totally depressed, right? Rightfully so. The woman was distraught, depressed. And she ended up becoming very ill, and she went into a coma. After 5 months, she was pronounced dead. They didn't know how or why, but she had died. So back then they went in bombing in Kentucky at that time. So she was buried pretty quickly in the local cemetery. It was really hot, so they just buried her fast. Like, get her in the ground, let's do it. So after the burial, a week later, a lot more of the town people started getting sick with the same type of illness that she had got, and they went into a comatose state as well. So everyone was like, huh, like what the fuck? But the only difference was the town people were waking up from the comatose. So the husband's like, what the fuck? He's like, we buried my wife right away, right after she went into that coma and died. He's like, oh my God, I wonder if she's still alive. So he's like, shit. So he got her exhumed. And when they brought her out, they found that the lining of the coffin had been scratched and torn to pieces.
Oh, that'd be horrible.
Yeah, her nails were bloody and broken. Her face was contorted in, horrific fear.
I guess that happened. That was a common thing that happened.
Yeah,
back then.
She died in the ground after being buried alive.
Because I know there's like a lot of people, or there was like a lot of plans in the older days, like with coffins that would have like the piping system, so you get air in them, and like they have like a bell thing, so you can ring the bell in case you were still alive under there. Yeah,
I was gonna talk about that a bit.
Okay.
That's cool though. No, you're right. But I was just gonna say with that, because the illness that went through. It was basically thought that the illness was caused by a tsetse fly. You know, that African insect that causes the disease for sleeping sickness.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what was going around. That's what they suspect what it was. Why everyone was going in that comatose state. They weren't dead. They were like, you know, yeah. I mean, it's not good getting getting bit by a tsetse fly. You know, that makes you really tired. Like they said, it makes you comatose. So anyway, back then, it's believed what was the problem. So I thought that was pretty shitty. There was another one I came across with this 6-year-old girl. Believe it or not, unfortunately, she got buried alive, but this one, luckily, she survived. So in August 2014, a 6-year-old girl in Uttar Pradesh, India, according to the uncle, says that a married couple that lived close to them told the little girl, like, hey, your parents want you to go to the fair that's a couple villages over. So she's a 6-year-old girl, and a couple of neighbors come over and tell her that, so she knows them, right? So they're like, yeah, your parents want us to take you, let's go to the fair. And so she's like, yeah, okay. So I guess, as they were walking over to the town, they were passing by some sugarcane field that was pretty big. And when they got there, these fucking people, they strangled the girl. The husband and wife strangled her to death and just buried her. But some of the villagers, who were working in the field, saw them enter, and they became suspicious when the two people left, but the little girl didn't. So they went around looking in the field where they had been, and they found this, the spot where she had been buried, but she was just unconscious. She was in a shallow grave. So luckily, they were able to take her to the hospital, and she was able to regain consciousness and after being buried alive. But the two people, those two assholes, didn't get caught, and they're still looking for them. But it's like, fuck, man, poor little girl. Can you imagine that? They strangle her, they didn't finish her off, and then they bury her alive.
I don't know. That's like one of the things that I'd be really scared to happen to me would be to just be stuck in a spot where you can't move, and you just man, I would just freak out.
You think that'd be the worst thing?
That would be one of the worst things.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad, huh? Look, sometimes you watch those videos of those people that go looking deep, cave diving. They go in these caves where they're super. These people are super skinny and they have to crawl through on their stomach.
Is it kerplunking or something like that?
But I mean, just going through all that, that's scary.
Oh, man. I know. You don't know if you're gonna get stuck in there.
Yeah, some people die because they get stuck and they can't get out.
Oh, so that'd be horrible because you just have to wait to die.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you're not gonna go very quickly. You're just gonna.
No, yeah, it's gonna be slow. And then, can you imagine something if, say, you're on your hands and knees or something comes and meets you, starts biting at your face?
Oh, I know. That makes it even worse. Got some snake crawling across your body. Ugh.
Oh, yeah. Horrible. Okay, so I got another story. Let's see what we got. So this guy was named Saiful William Lecce. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but in 1993, he was a 24-year-old South African man. Him and his fiancée were, in a car accident, bad car accident. So she survived, the fiancée survived, but he was really badly injured, and he was declared dead at the scene in the hospital. They're like, man, this guy's toast. So he was taken to the Johannesburg mortuary and placed in a metal box for burial. But the problem was that he wasn't actually dead. He just became unconscious in the wake of the crash. So for 2 days and nights, he remained in the box until he awoke in a confused daze and he began to scream for help. So at least for 2 days, he was asleep, right? He was just asleep. Mm-hmm. But when he woke up, he's just in a little box. You can't get in and out. You can't get out. So, like I said, he started banging, and luckily some workers at the morgue were around, and they heard him, and they let him out. And, he escaped. I wouldn't say escaped, but he was let out, and he was like, fuck, what the fuck? But the problem, that wasn't the main problem, was when he went back home to his fiancée, she sent him away because she thought he was a zombie.
Oh, because they tell her that he was dead?
Yeah, Jay said your fiance's dead, and so he showed up at the house alive, and she's like, "Fuck you!"
Fucking shoots him.
Yeah, I know. So she didn't accept him. I think it took a while.
Never
but,
shoot him in the head.
eventually-
It's the only way to
Yeah,
get rid of him. Shoot him in the
That's
head.
the only way you can kill him. Yeah,
Gotta kill the brain.
yeah. Fucking. I don't know. I was like, oh man, that would suck. You know, you can't even go home. Who says you can't go home again? Cypher William Lecce says that. And this next story was kind of fucked up too. So this is from a woman named Mina El Houari. So this lady here, she was talking to a guy online in Morocco. This French woman. So she was talking online to him. She met him online, and they've been, talking for a while. She's 25-year-old, they're young people, and they're going and talking about meeting up and dating and stuff. So finally, she decides, I'm gonna go meet this guy. We've been talking for a while. Let's go have a real first date.
Mm-hmm.
So she arrived in the hotel in Fez, Morocco, on May 19th, 2014, for her date with the man that she had fallen in love with online. So they were having a good time. And having drinks and stuff, and she just collapsed on the floor in the middle of the date. She just done. And he's like, what the fuck? So instead of calling the cops or an ambulance, this awesome cool dickhead, he assumed she was dead. So he got freaked out, and he just decided to bury her in a grave in his garden, in a shallow grave. So the problem was, she wasn't dead. She had an undiagnosed diabetic. She was an undiagnosed diabetic and was a diabetic coma.
Oh.
So he buried her alive. So a few days later, her parents got suspicious and they filed a missing persons report. And they flew to Morocco to try and find her. And the Moroccan police ended up tracking down that she had went to his home. And they found his muddy clothes and used shovel before discovering the grave that he had made for her. So he ended up confessing to the crime and he was charged with manslaughter. But yeah, this lady, this poor lady, I don't know why he would do that unless he was planning on killing her. I mean,
I know, because it's.
You would call the cops, I think.
That's the first thing I would do is all of a sudden she just kind of.
She passed out, like, fuck, let's get some help. And no, this guy's like, fuck it, I'm burying her.
Did he do anything to cause her to pass out?
No, no, she it was just a diabetic coma.
So they're just like at a date and she just falls down or whatever.
She just passed out and he freaked out.
And then he just the first thing he decides to do is to bury her.
Just bury her, man. He just buries her. He's like, fuck it.
I like to hide from my problems, so I just bury.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so, I mean,
that just sounds crazy. It's like that. Why would that be the first thing to come up to? Like
that's why I said unless he was planning on murdering her. Like was he gonna roofie her? I mean, it seems like she was gonna probably, if he flew there to Morocco to meet him and she was in love with him, she was probably gonna fuck him. So he probably wouldn't need to roofie her or anything. So I don't know what his deal was, but
maybe he had all the shovels and shit in the back of his car. He was
I know.
Jeez. He was all ready to take her out. And
I know.
Pass out. He's like,
she did the job for me.
It's like, oh crap! I need to get the satisfaction of killing her.
I know. This doesn't work for me.
That's just rude, lady.
I know. How dare you take away my pleasure?
Take away my pleasure of a psychotic killer.
What a dipshit. So there was and here's another instance where I guess this guy was buried alive voluntarily. So
David Copperfield.
Yeah.
Or was it David Blaine?
No. Yeah.
Buried in ice.
In ice, yeah,
for
for
3
2 days or something. So people always trying to defy fate and stuff. So there's, I guess, it's like just tutorials on YouTube and stuff. Like if you find yourself 6 feet under, it can tell you how to get out.
Oh really?
And yeah, there's stuff on there about that. But in 2011, a 35-year-old Russian man, he did that. But the problem is he succumbed to the death. He succumbed to death.
So was he making a YouTube video on how to do it?
So hold on. So he believed he was burning himself alive for 24 hours would make him lucky for the rest of his life. So he figured if my buddy buries me for 24 hours and I survive it, I'll have luck forever. As long as I'm alive.
Where do people get these ideas?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But with the help from his buddy, he dug a grave outside his city and they put a makeshift coffin in. But it was complete with air piping, a single bottle of water, and a cell phone. Okay, so he wasn't totally.
So he was prepared to try.
Yeah,
to survive
he was prepared. So once he got in the casket, his friend covered him up with nearly a foot of dirt, and he just bailed. He left. All right, you got to stay here for 24 hours. The man called his buddy just once to tell him that he was fine. But when the buddy came back, to relieve him in the morning, the friend was dead.
Oh,
so
shit.
it seems that an overnight rain blocked the air pipes and left the man to suffocate in his own casket.
Oh, yeah, that's
Exactly.
a shitty way to die.
Yeah, like he was prepared, man. He wasn't just chancing it. He had things, he had backup. He had a phone, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why he didn't call somebody.
Well, I don't know.
You forgot to charge your phone.
Yeah, I know. God damn it, it's on 2%.
Well, then, like, he's down in there, so he's probably not getting any reception.
No. He said he called him once.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe he might have went to sleep, right? And the things got plugged, man, and he just died in his sleep.
So he called him once, but the guy didn't answer?
No. He called him once, and he said, "Hey, I'm fine," right?
Oh, I
Everything's
see.
cool.
Oh, the guy called the guy that was
Yeah, he
buried.
checked in once.
Okay. Yeah, but you think he would call,
Yeah, I'd be like, call me every 4 hours. But, I mean, it's overnight. Maybe he figured he'd sleep, right? He's got air. He's just going to pass out.
Huh.
I don't know. I don't know. But the problem is like,
Well, yeah, because if he ran out of air, he probably just, like, passed out. Like, he was...
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Or maybe he fell asleep
Yeah, I see
and
what
he
you're
ran out
saying.
of air.
Okay.
And he just and he died. But the bad thing is, that was a trend in Russia at the time. So who knows how many more people, like, ended up dying like that.
So that was like a thing in Russia where the people...
That was a thing in Russia at the time. I don't know if it still
For
is.
good
They were
luck?
saying yeah, it's supposed to bring you luck, or you're defying fate, right? You're cheating fate.
Uh-huh.
So you're basically like, I'm gonna be lucky, right?
Basically, you're getting like all the shit out of the way. Like, okay,
Yeah,
I got through this, so that means like everything else has to be good now.
yeah. I survived this,
Huh.
right? I survived this, so I should be able to be lucky. I mean, it's a superstition. I'm right. So
Yeah.
whether you believe it or not, it's up to you. It's every person has their own decisions and their beliefs. I just think, man, I'd have way more backup, contingency plans than that.
I don't know.
I know.
I wouldn't be down there for... you'd have to pay me a shitload of money. And even then, I'd think twice about it.
So this last one I'm going to tell you is about Angelo Hayes. So Angelo Hayes in 1937, he was a 19-year-old boy who was in Saint Quentin de Chalais in France. So he was riding his motorcycle around the village when he was suddenly thrown from his bike and tossed headfirst into a brick wall. So without any hesitation, the doctors declared him dead. He was promptly buried 3 days after his accident. So, he was out for 3 days. He was dead.
Mm.
In the nearby town of Bordeaux, an insurance company became suspicious after realizing that Angelo's father had recently insured his son's life for 20,000 francs. So an inspector was sent, to check it out. Like, hey, man, this seems a little fishy. So the inspector had Angelo's body exhumed 2 days after he'd been buried, just to confirm that he was dead, right? They thought maybe the dad and the son were pulling a scam.
Yeah.
The problem was that he wasn't dead. When the doctor removed the death shroud, his body was warm and his heart was barely beating.
Oh.
So he was taken to a hospital, and he endured several operations, and after like an extensive rehabilitation, he made a full recovery.
Really?
So yeah, and as it happens, the only reason he didn't die is because he was in a state of unconsciousness due to his severe head injury.
So he wasn't like... Because like you think if you buried down there for that long that he would just run out of oxygen.
Exactly, but because maybe his body was like just on low, like on power save.
He wasn't taking in that.
He
much
wasn't.
oxygen
Yeah,
to
exactly.
keep
Just
alive.
bare minimum. And so, because of that, he went on to invent a security coffin with all the bells and whistles to endure survival of premature burial. Like you were saying before, he was putting stuff in there like to help you get out.
That's
And he ended up touring around in France. He became a celebrity because of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he made that. He invented that.
Because that's where the term like "Saved by the Bell" comes from what I've heard.
See, but really?
Yeah, because you would hear like they would have the coffin, right, and like if you were alive, you would ring that little bell hooked up to it, and you'd ring,
really?
You'd ring the bell, like okay, I'm still alive, and they would come in, they would dig you out.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. But yeah, I guess like his thing had like his his security coffin, that he invented, it had like a thick upholstery, a food locker, a chemical toilet,
Nice.
a library, and a radio transmitter. All the bells and whistles.
Radio transmitter, damn.
Radio transmitter, yeah, to get a hold of somebody.
You might as well just live in it.
Yeah, I know.
It's like everyone building those tiny houses now.
I know. Yeah, basically coffins. I know. I don't need anybody. I got everything I need in here.
I call them living coffins. They're for
Yeah.
living.
But yeah, because things like this have happened and people have barely survived or not survived. Like I was saying, some people died. I guess it was a big thing. And again, some of the Haitians with voodoo, they do this on purpose, right? That's how they capture their slaves.
Yeah, that's right. I remember, now that you mentioned that movie, that took me a while to remember. But yeah, that was like a thing down there where people would...
yeah, and it's practiced in voodoo like quite a bit, like in Haiti. That's like big, I guess.
I think that's where like the zombie term came from. Like,
yeah,
that's
it
where
came from.
originated
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. So, yeah, man, that stuff's kind of scary. I don't. Being buried alive, like you said, it's not something that anybody should endure.
Well, just in kind of confined spaces. Some people can do it, but like
I know.
I can't.
I know. Yeah, I know a lot of people can't do it. Like I said, just watching some of those videos when people are like, going in those caves that are really tight. It's like, man, it just watching that kind of scares me. Like
even
can't handle
sometimes
that.
like with the like plumbing and stuff where I have to crawl under the house. Oh, I hate doing that shit.
That seems horrible. Can you imagine if the fucking house just went down?
You're all stuck
You
under
know.
your house.
Yeah, that would be horrible. It's not like they can just get you out.
Well, just crawling under there and all this fucking spiders,
dirt.
and mice.
Yeah, I know.
You don't know what the hell's gonna crawl on the
man.
back of your neck.
That's
Or
horrible. I
trying to fix a
know.
pipe and all the spiders are crawling on your face.
Oh, gosh. That's so horrible. I don't like that at all. So, one last thing I was going to say that had nothing to do with this, but I guess I read that because it's becoming a problem is that, did you read about that more than 250 people worldwide have died taking selfies?
Yeah, I think I did a story on that
Yeah, man. Can you believe
a
that?
while ago.
Yeah.
Saying that there was a lot of them were.
From October 2011 to November 2017, there's been 259 selfie-related deaths.
Well, yeah, I can see it. People don't pay attention. Fall off cliffs and sides of buildings.
Well, how about those people trying to get those perfect, pictures where they're like on
the train coming at them,
or like on the edge of a building, they're do stuff like that. It's like, man, it's a lot of people. It's just, I mean, this is gonna get worse, right? Don't you think?
I can imagine. More people, just
More people that get phones and
don't pay attention. I don't know, because a lot of people are kind of straying away from social media. I've noticed. I think it's getting started.
I think older people. I don't think the young kids are. The
you
young
think
kids,
so?
this is something new. Yeah, the young kids are. This is how they get around. I was just talking with a guy at work today, and he was saying how his daughter, when she was like in middle school, she's gonna be in high school, but when she was in middle school, up until she was like in 7th grade, she used to hang out with all her friends. Now they don't. He says they don't do that. All they do is text each other. They don't hang out with each other anymore. They just text and do social media. And he says he's got to, what he does is he tells them, like, hey, call your friends, tell them that I'm making all this food. They went to movies. They can come on over and hang out. He's like, I gotta force it. He says they don't want to do that anymore. He says when they were younger, they did. He says they don't want to do that. They just want to be by themselves and text and be on social media. That's how they communicate. I mean, I said, we're just basically creating a society of introverts.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because nobody wants to. I don't want to go. I don't want to go to your house. I mean, I have all my stuff here. I don't want to leave my things. That's with technology. Some good things happen. There's a lot of things that also don't. And that's. I think the kids, right? They got to go to the social media garbage first. But even there's a lot of adults on it. Like half the time, I'm like, if I'm in a grocery store and I see like the lady in front of me on her phone, she's always on Facebook.
Oh, really?
She's always just scrolling through all the feeds and shit. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, I noticed if
whatever.
you talk to people or if you hang out with people, everyone's on their phones texting someone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're always doing that, or they're checking. I got a mail, or I got not a mail, but a text or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's some people that can break it, and there's a lot of people that's all they live for. First thing they do is on their phone. I mean, like I said, I've even had a problem. Like, if I'm watching if I'm watching something and I go to a commercial or a boring part, I'll pull out my phone and I'll do something on there. And it's like, man, like I used to deal with this stuff. Like I used to just sit through these things, or I'd get up and take a leak at this time. The commercial.
Well, a lot of times I don't even watch the channel the station that I'm watching because it's more background noise from my phone.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. It's like I said. I mean, I don't know what the amount of people are, what numbers there are of people that are actually on social media, but it's got to be a lot. And again, like all these kids, that's what they're doing. It's just easier to talk. A lot more people I think they feel a little more free and liberated talking behind a keyboard versus in real life,
Yeah, I can see because they just feel more comfortable. Don't have to deal with
I can. Yeah,
don't have to
even
deal
if
with
I have
the
this
social pressures that have them be out in society.
Just wait till they have to get a job, then they have to deal with people.
Yep.
Well, that's all we got for today, folks.
All right, so we will see you guys next week. Until then, have a good morning, evening, or night, and stay strange.
All right, bye-bye, y'all.
If you enjoy the show, please go to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you're listening, and please give us a good rating. If you want to share a story or have ideas for a future episode, you're welcome to visit us at www.thestrangepodcast.com. We look forward to hearing from you.